This podcast is a Radio Mike original production. Head to radiomike.com.au to find out more. This episode of Harry Potter and the Boys is brought to you by Radio Mike on Patreon and the 20th Century Boy podcast. Head to patreon.com/Radio Mike and for as little as $1 a month, get a bonus podcast every week. And search 20th Century Boy on your favorite podcast app to hear more from me every week. 50 years after the final Harry Potter book, Harry Potter is now headmaster of Hogwarts, ready to usher in a brand new generation of witches and wizards. My name's Radio Mike, and I love Harry Potter. In fact, I love Harry Potter so much that when I was a kid, I wrote a series of 7 Harry Potter fan fiction novels. This is book 2 in that series. Welcome to Harry Potter and the Teamwizard Tournament. Hello, Hamoras, everyone. Welcome to Harry Potter and the Boys, a fan fiction podcast by me, Radio Mike. This is book 2, Harry Potter and the Teamwizard Tournament, and joining me for the second time on this podcast, it's Mikey D. How are ya?
Mike, great to be here. I've got one gripe to pick with you.
Yeah.
The last time I was on your podcast, I was on the big 20th Century Boy.
Yes, that's right.
I walked in applauding myself, and you said to me that you'd edit in an applause track.
Oh.
You never edited in the applause track.
I know. I didn't know. I know now. Now I know.
It fell short, Mike. That's all I'm saying is the intro.
I'm editing an applause track onto this one.
Thank you so much.
There will be an applause track in post. Remind me, but there will be one.
Well, now I'll repeat. It's great to be here, Mike.
Yeah, it's great to have you back on the show. Here's the applause track. Wow, you guys are going crazy for Mikey D. Look, of course, this is a Harry Potter pod, and we will get on to the fanfic. But I wanted to get you on this week because I think you've done it. And when I say done it, I think you've done one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life, which is you went on the TV show. There's a lot of international listeners to this show, but all of you will be familiar with the game show Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Of course, we have an Australian version here. It's currently like the Millionaire Hot Seat edition. You went on that show, which is hosted by a guy called Eddie Maguire, great dude, TV host, and you just trolled the entire show. It's gone to air. It's amazing. Can you talk about it?
I can. I'll try and be couth with my word selection. I'm a couple of Baileys deep, which now in hindsight's a terrible decision.
Yeah.
Especially about a potentially sensitive subject, because I'd love to have a job one day in commercial media. So let's not burn bridges.
No bridges.
But
there are bridges, but they're not a light.
Yes.
They're bridges over water. The water is not troubled. It's just bridges.
Sounds safe to
Delightful.
me. I'm happy to go ahead with this.
Yeah.
So I was asked to apply because they wanted some younger people. And
who asked you?
I work for the Reach Foundation, and they said, hey, we want some younger people to jump on board. And I said, okay, I'll apply. And this is like ages ago when in the lockdowns.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I go on to this Zoom meeting. It was very cringe, very boring.
Yeah.
And I pitched this story, and I've been chasing this story arc for years. So I met Eddie Maguire when I think I've told you this once.
Told it. I think you told it on this podcast when you came on. But tell us again, because I can't remember.
So I met Eddie Maguire when I was about 10 to 11 years old. My parents got me a Collingwood locker room pass as a gift, along with a Guernsey, and I got to meet the players.
Eddie Maguire was the president of the Collingwood Football Club
and
here in
that's
Australia.
A thing to bold and italicize.
What was?
Yeah. Okay. That'll come back. So firstly, I'm not even a Collingwood supporter. It's a very weird present for my parents to give me.
Who do you support?
Essendon, but not really.
Too.
Yeah, but it's like ever since the drug saga, I've just jumped ship. I'm just swimming in the ocean waiting for a team to pick me up.
Yeah.
So I go into the locker rooms, and my friend Callum Brown, who's now a Collingwood player, was there with his dad, Gavin. Funnily enough, Callum was in my dream last night, and we were all vampires. So little tidbit for you.
Mikey's got his own fan fiction.
Callum, if you're listening, it is as weird as it sounds. So I see Callum. Callum brings me into the actual locker room. So when you get the pass, you actually stand behind bars.
Yeah.
You're like a monkeys in
a zoo. Yeah.
So we go in and we're kicking a football around and having the best time of our life. Collingwood had just won by maybe 3 points against St Kilda at the time, or Richmond.
Grand final or just a game?
Just like mid-season game.
Okay.
They should have stomped them because they're doing so well.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, everyone goes silent, but Callum and I are still kicking a footy with his cousin.
And you're just kids. You're
Absolutely kids.
Okay, yeah.
Absolutely. Can't drive, can't vote, definitely can't drink. And suddenly you hear the stomp, stomp, stomp of a man that has a lot of money in his pockets.
Oh.
And out comes Eddie Maguire.
Yeah.
And he looks at us and just lays into us about making noise and tells us to be quiet.
Really?
In a polite way to children, but it was still like, it's a bit aggressive there, champ.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay.
Yes, he told us to shut up. And my mind was just, oh my God, that was Eddie Maguire. But then as
You're
the
like,
years...
this is the best day of my life.
Literally. And then as the years have gone on, that narrative has slowly shifted into Eddie Maguire did me dirty as a young man. I'm going to get my vengeance. So when I was with you years ago doing radio, Triple M, and I pitched this story, and I did this story with, I think, Manda Catalano, from memory.
Mandy, friend of the show.
And
I think I saw her the other week.
Friend of the show.
I saw her the other week. She was cool.
Eddie Maguire, we worked with him once, friend of the show.
Friend of the show.
So it's all love here, Eddie. It's not though. This isn't love. This is war here. So
Okay.
Mandy and I pitched this, I think it was Mandy. We pitched this segment. We did this segment on air about how Eddie yelled at me and I wanted to do the full circle and get a second chance at a first impression. That was the whole shtick, right? So we pitched it to the program director, and the program director from Perth comes back and says, mate, this is great content.
Yeah.
Pitch it to the program director of Triple M Melbourne. And then so I go through the networks you have to go through as a young grunt to get that segment approved and hopefully get Eddie on the show. And it very quickly comes back with, not only are we not going to pitch this to Eddie, but you should never do this segment again.
Never mention it again.
Yeah.
They got out a little device that flashed and then I couldn't remember it anymore, like in Men in Black.
Then I went on stage and I slapped a man in the face for making fun of my wife.
By the way, guys, we will get to the fanfic, but this is a great story.
Yeah, so sorry. I'll speed through this because there's so much to go through still. So that gets just stopped in its tracks. Eddie Maguire is not coming on the show. I'm not getting my second chance at a first impression.
Yeah.
And then I get offered this hot seat audition and I pitch the story again because I think this is my time. I want Eddie Maguire to apologize to me live on air. This is before Eddie gets, Eddie resigns.
From head of Collingwood, president of Collingwood.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then COVID happens and then months go by until I finally get the call up to go on hot seat. And at this stage, Eddie had now been let go or he'd stepped back, right?
Yeah.
And so now I get to the studios on the day. I didn't know much about what was going to happen, but I knew I wanted to make a big impression. So I wore this suit that I found at an op shop, thinking I'd look like an idiot. Ended up getting more compliments than I've ever received in my life.
And you were wearing runners with the suit.
Yeah, I was. So go in, and I knew I just wanted to make this an experience for myself because I know a lot of people that go on the show, they're all very timid, and it's the Eddie show because it's Eddie's show, but it's just a bunch of everyday people, and I was like, no, I want to make sure that this is a standout moment for me in my life, and I can make content out of this.
Yeah.
So I wear what I wear. I go on, and just before I kind of go to air, they say, now you can't talk about the Eddie yelling
incident.
at you bit because Eddie now can't really talk about football much, which makes a lot of sense because of the whole Collingwood thing. So footy's now off the table, but that was like the main reason I was there. I didn't really care about the money, and I was actually more bummed about it than anything. So I go on, I had to tell this story about how I met your bosses, Hamish and Andy, and I dropped a chess set on them.
Which is how we met because I was working for Hamish and Andy and I organised that interview for you to do with Hamish and Andy and you dropped the chess set. Yeah.
I never go well with these interviews. And so I was pretty bummed to tell that story because I was like, I don't actually want to tell this story. Alas, I had to tell that story on air. But the whole time through, I just thought, while I was on air with Millionaire Hot Seat, if I can just make the biggest dick of myself as possible while still being endearing and being myself, this will definitely get more viewership and be good for the compilation later on. So that's exactly what I did. And I just didn't. A lot of things were unplanned. Like you were talking before about how I got an answer wrong as I was dancing to a Dua Lipa. Yeah, please.
So, you know, it's the hot seat and it's like, oh, this is an audio question. like everyone has to answer. This is an audio question. Who's the singer of this song? And like they play the song and you just see Mikey D literally just like dancing, like getting so into it.
Which is what I'd normally do, by the way. I'm not putting anything on. I would dance to a song if I enjoyed the song
It's
anyway.
so funny, and all of this is available on Mikey's Insta. Is it Mikey D Graham?
Mikey D Graham.
Yeah, please go on it because it is the funniest thing I've ever seen. And then when Eddie comes in, you stand up and applaud.
Yeah, so that bit, I was telling you a bit about it before, but we had to do a rehearsal for how we're going to be when Eddie comes in.
Okay.
Which I thought was
Just in case.
so funny.
Yeah.
So in case people forget to applaud. So I, in that rehearsal, stood up because I'm like, I'm going to give this man a standing O.
Yeah.
Deserves it. He's been doing this for 10 years and is somehow still going. So I gave the standing O to the fake producer that comes in. And she started pissing herself laughing. And then everyone else started pissing themselves laughing. And they were all looking at each other saying, can we do this? Can he do this? And then
you were just like doing whatever you wanted. Like, you just when they, you keep going, you keep going.
Yeah, so I did the standing O when Eddie walked in and he was just shocked.
Yeah.
Absolutely shocked. I actually don't remember him saying to me, I'll throw a fish at you.
Yeah, he says, I'll throw a fish at you. Were you nervous to do it though?
No.
Okay.
Not
And then
at all.
the other thing is when they introduce everyone, it's like, oh, it's Dave from Sydney. He's a mechanic and he once went to Japan and slept in a capsule or something. Like they do a fun fact. And yours is like, when he's saying yours, oh, it's Mikey D from Melbourne. He's a content creator. And then you look at the camera and you wink at the camera and like, there's a clip of it on your Instagram. It's so funny. But it's like, did they ask you to redo it? Or were they just...
You can just hear the laughter in the background there from the directors thinking, this kid is such a dickhead.
You just wink at the camera and like look really chuffed to be there.
Chuffed was exactly what I was going for.
Yeah.
That. Real, just lip over the top lip, just really happy.
I encourage everyone, Mikey D Graham, all the reels are there. And then you end up, we can say you win $1,000.
Absolute bullshit. I came last in the fastest finger at the start. I got almost every question wrong.
Yeah.
So that was already a bad start, but I fluked my way to the end. There was no reason why I should have won that money.
So did they give you the 1,000?
I still haven't had it transferred to my bank account yet as of
wow.
today.
There you go.
I
Well,
know.
it is
That's
awesome.
Hollywood.
I really wanted to talk about it. Is there any other funny things you'd want to tell before we get into the double F?
There was
fanfic.
Of course.
I think last time you were on, we were shortening everything.
RM, we definitely were, and that's me saying that, MD.
Yeah. Do you remember when you came on the show last anything about the chapter that you read? Because I don't. I don't know if you remember. I know you came dressed as Harry Potter, which was great.
I remember that. That was one of the peaks. And I remember definitely the abbreviations, which are still stuck into our friendship today.
Yeah.
Abbreviating everything to the point of confusion.
Yeah. Or A-ing everything to the point of C, as we would say.
And it's begun.
Begun. Well, we'll go back and listen to Mikey D's episode from season 1 of the pod. We're on book 2 now, Mikey, the Teamwizard Tournament. We are learning more and more about the Teamwizard Tournament, which the eponymous boys are competing in.
Eponymous.
Is that the right word?
I don't know what that. I've never heard it. I don't know if it's the right word. I've never heard that word.
Well, the boy. Okay, just forget I said eponymous. The boys are competing in.
It's a great word choice, by the way, even if it's not correct.
Thanks. It's like the Triwizard Tournament, obviously.
Is it really? The Teamwizard Tournament's like the Triwizard Tournament.
But they're in teams. Task 1 is coming up and the boys are very scared because Mr. Charger, the evil teacher, has obviously created the Teamwizard Tournament specifically to kill the boys. That's where we pick up in chapter 13. And I will get you, as always, to start the chapter by reading the title. So, Mikey D, whenever you're ready, take it away.
Chapter 13. Dinguts School of Hocus Pokery. Am I pronouncing Dinguts right?
I don't know. It's Dinguts School of Hocus Pokery, which implies that this is similar to Durmstrang and Beaubaton. This does sound like another school of magic.
Just
from
sounds
somewhere
like the
else.
offbeat kids that didn't make Hogwarts, though. That's what it sounds like.
Was there like a local school in your area that all like the kids that got expelled from your school went to?
Yeah, I was going to that school for a period of time.
What was it?
It was Doncaster Secondary College.
For us, it was Marcelin or De La Salle.
Marcelin was the one that people got expelled. I didn't even make it to Marcelin. I applied for Marcelin and they rejected me.
That sucks, man.
How's a private school the off? I don't even want to know about it.
Anyway.
Start us off.
Oh, no, you start. You read. I don't read. You read. Then we comment.
Is that right?
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
Start us off. Dinguts, chapter 13. Dinguts School of Hocus Pokery, which we assume is magic, but we don't know.
Now, last time I got caught up in a whirlwind of accentory. That's not a word. I just want to clarify.
You did accents for characters. I understood what you meant.
Thank you.
The listeners of the show are like, when does the fanfic start?
Right now. Here it is. 3, 2...
2, 1.
The boy...
Oh, sorry.
Shh. Well, now we're going to start again.
Yeah.
3. And you go.
1. Oh, no.
2.
3.
2.
1.
What?
Now.
Oh, shit.
I think, let's go.
Okay, yeah, I think so.
Now.
Yeah, now.
Now.
Starting now.
Now.
The boys were beginning to get worried about the first task, which was coming up at some point in the timeline at the book that was probably too close to the day it was announced. So let's just say it got pushed back a week.
Okay.
Just by the way, I know that this isn't written by you now.
Yeah.
Because the lack of commas and
it's just
grammar.
freestyle writing.
It is
stream
freestyle
of consciousness.
Yeah, I don't know. I've read texts by you that are more eloquent than this.
Text messages.
Yeah,
I actually use grammar in my text
You are
messages.
fantastic.
Yeah.
This is a compliment to you.
Thank you.
Unless I am
style.
insulting you and you are absolutely pulling the wool over everyone's eyes and this is written by you now as a 20-something-year-old man.
13-year-old.
Fantastic.
Crazy. Insane, you could say.
Rob was doing a poo in the boys' toilets. It was a big and stinky one. Oh, no.
Now, why would we need to know that?
I like that because I feel like a lot of the time books and television glance over it.
It's like in Friends,
Yeah.
the TV show,
Yeah.
you know they're pooing,
Yeah.
but we never see it or hear about it.
Well, they come out the bathroom.
Yeah.
Never see them in it.
Was it a wee or a poo? We don't know.
Just talk about it.
Talk about normalised poo chat.
Normalised ones and twos.
Did you do a poo today?
A couple, yeah. Sure.
I haven't.
None.
I probably, I mean, I might. Yeah, I don't do it. I don't always go every day.
That's not probably healthy.
Well, it's me.
Drop a couple of big and stinky ones, my man. Do it for the audience. Back to the book.
Back to the book.
Sorry for adding that detail, but I think it makes the book more real and believable. So just what we were talking about.
13-year-old. We predicted exactly what.
13-year-old, you had your finger on the pulse and heavily.
J.K. Rowling never apologized for giving you detail. She was never like, sorry to add that detail, but this author does consider it potentially offensive. So he says sorry for adding that detail.
I like that you're disassociating yourself from yourself here by saying this author. I also like that you're delineating between yourself and J.K. Rowling.
Yeah.
I like that. Make yourself a more credible author.
Thank you.
Back to the book. Seriously, in the actual Harry Potter books, you never hear at any point of a single character doing a poo or even let alone a wee.
Even let alone a wee.
It makes me really sad that I'm having similar thoughts to a 13-year-old at this stage. Back to the book.
Also, so far, like, nothing to do with Harry Potter in this chapter. It's just about a kid that was pooing. But anyway, we might...
Not even Harry Potter pooing.
No.
Just a kid.
Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he's grown past the need for it. And who knows?
You have to assume they're doing them, but we never get any details. So, in this book, from time to time, to help paint the picture, I think it's a good idea to include the poos, wees, and even occasionally poo-wees, where you poo and wee at the same time in the chapters. I, for one...
A poo-wee?
I do poo-wees all the time. I actually can't not.
It is, because I've said this before somewhere, maybe on a different podcast, the muscles, at least for guys, they're very linked. If you're pushing one, you're pushing the other.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, well, I'm not at the urinal about to shit myself.
No, but sometimes if you're doing a wee, you might fart.
Yes,
Have
correct.
You notice that?
And that's
or feel
tough.
One. That's tough. It's embarrassing in public.
That is...
Right in, guys.
Stories to tell about that one. That's an off-air chat. Cut that. Make a note.
Probably have to cut half the podcast so far.
1942. Make a cut. Thanks, Mike.
Do you actually want me to cut it?
We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
Back I'm so sorry about that. I
Your
get
phone,
texts
his
sometimes.
phone's just rung.
Fuck me.
Feel free to check it.
No, I really don't want to.
Okay,
I'm
well,
really invested in this
that's
book.
all right. No. It's a good read.
Cut that.
I didn't even know there was a name for pooing and weeing at the same time, but apparently it's poo-wees.
They're very inventive, much like the Teamwizard Tournament. Back to the book. The boys had no idea what the first task could possibly be, and they were hanging out waiting for the lunch orders one day when they...
The lunch orders.
That is such an Australian reference, and it takes me straight back to walking down the corridor. Two kids, a tub.
The brown paper bags with the orders written in them and $2.50.
And the rich kids had themselves bags that had a template on it.
Yeah.
That had the names and what they wanted. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Man, fuck those kids.
But that was back in the day where you'd get a hot dog lunch order. You'd put $2.50 in your bag and you'd get a lunch order.
That was like magic.
It's crazy.
The fact that your bag came back with food in it.
I know.
After just putting coins in it. That's like Tooth Fairy kind of stuff.
It's Tooth Fairy stuff.
Yeah.
Wow. So
What
the
a
boys
life.
are waiting for the lunch orders.
The boys
But
are waiting for the
Do you
lunch
have
orders.
lunch orders at Hogwarts? Because it's not like... It's a boarding school. You'd assume food is provided by the school. You don't have to pay for food.
Providing
every
it
day.
via lunch orders. Maybe they still do the lunch orders, but instead of putting in sickles, they just leave it blank.
Yeah.
But they like to make the kids still work for it. Not everything can be magic. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you won't know any worth of anything.
Yeah, that's true. Magic makes everything easy. They need to learn the hard way.
13-year-old Mike knew that.
Yeah. I feel like that day at school when I wrote this, I got a lunch order. And a lunch order was a big deal. You're like, oh my God, I've got a lunch order.
You
today, guys.
wrote this at 13, did you not?
Yeah.
You shouldn't be getting lunch orders at 13. You're too old for that.
You reckon?
You're in high school.
Oh, maybe it. Yeah. Oh, because they had a canteen at high school. That's true.
Sure. I'm just worried about you as a 13-year-old
Getting
now.
lunch orders.
Yeah.
Sausage roll and chocolate milk, please.
You're the only kid at the start of maths class that was putting his hand up with a brown paper bag. And bringing the tub.
Go pick up the lunch orders. All right, so the boys are waiting for the lunch
Back
orders.
to the book.
BTB.
BTB. The boys had no idea what the first task could possibly be, and they were hanging out waiting for the lunch orders one day when they saw a strange boy in a green uniform that wasn't the Hogwarts uniform.
Now, this boy has been mentioned a few times before. In fact, in a previous chapter, the narrator actually said, there was this boy, but we're not introducing him until a later chapter. This might be that chapter that was spoken about.
Another strong literary technique.
Yeah, foreshadowing.
BTB.
BTB, guys.
He also had a yellowish wolf next to him. This boy had been mentioned a couple of times
there you
throughout the book. It's like 13-year-old
I'm
Mike.
still there.
It's the same man.
This is how you know I wrote the book, because my mind's like, yes, I do remember this.
This is so weird. This has happened a couple of times now, and it's freaky. Anyways, BTB. He also had a yellowish wolf next to him. This boy has been mentioned a couple of times throughout the book, and now he will finally be developed into a character, and you'll find out just who he is.
Amazing.
G'day, mates, the boy said.
Oh.
Did you not just feel immersed there? I did an accent.
That was a great accent.
No, I know I've got an Australian accent, but I
You've
enhanced
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
BTB.
And, well, I'm going to call it now. Does this mean that Dinguts School of Hocus Pokery is, in fact, the Australian Hogwarts?
Holy smoke.
So instead of getting our letter from Hogwarts, we would have gotten our letter from Dinguts.
We would have gotten it on the back of the lunch order. With your pasty. Hey, mate, you've also been accepted into Dinguts. Yeah.
Come on.
Cheers.
It's Professor Dundee.
Yeah. Bring a pair of bloody boots, mate. You'll be working hard. Hey, B2B. We need to get back into it.
Got to get into it.
There's people that want this book.
Yeah. There's people that don't. There are people who come for everything but the book, and they don't get much. So I feel like we've got to... Anyway, BTB.
We're just playing both. We'll play 50-50
Play for both
today.
audiences, yeah.
BTB. He would have been about 15 or 16 years old. He had brown hair and an accent that sounded either Australian. But there's nothing that follows that sentence. It just says either Australian. You couldn't think of another nationality to give him. He just got stumped at Australian. He's either Australian or Australian.
That's just it. He was either Australian or...
Oh my, I'm starting to think he's
That's me.
That's you.
In character form.
So you've,
Because I'm also the author, but that's the character of me.
right. Okay. It's much like Jackie Moon in that movie, Tropic Thunder. Not Tropic Thunder. Come on. Semi-Pro.
I thought that was like a Sailor Moon character.
Oh,
And I was
okay.
like,
We're
is
on
Sailor
different
Moon
pages.
based on a real person?
It's talking about a man that managed and played in his own basketball team.
That's
but
cool.
It's a Will Ferrell movie.
It's more like I'm trying to think of a better. It's like Jerry Seinfeld in Seinfeld.
Yeah,
like he played a version of himself, but it wasn't, semi-autobiographical, I think is the term.
That
Eponymous.
is eponymous. Great word.
Someone define eponymous and tell me if I used it correctly.
And even if he didn't, just let him have this one. BTB.
BTB.
Who are you? Said Michael. Yeah, and why are you wearing a different uniform? The boy sort of looked like a crab. All right. I'm not going to ask
What does
questions.
that mean?
I'm not going to ask questions there. He looked like a crab, and that's a great playground insult. The name's Dylan. Oh, gosh. Why you get... Okay. This is sounding awfully sexual.
So his name's Dylan.
Yeah, but his last name is Dylan Dylderoni. And I just... You know where my head is... And it's not in the house with you right now. It's in the gutter.
And it's Dylan with a Y?
Oh,
right,
no,
so it's Dylan
no.
and Dylderoni with a Y.
I've read ahead. I've read ahead. For fuck's sake.
Okay.
I'm trying to have a career here, man. Me reading this. I'm going to go from the top here. The name's Dylan. Dylan Dylderoni. But you can call me Dildo. With a Y, the boy said.
And this is probably the day I found out
What a dildo,
what a dildo was,
Yeah.
but I didn't quite understand it. Like, I was like,
Yeah.
dildo, that's funny.
Yeah, it's a phallic-shaped object. But you didn't think about the repercussions of what that thing would go ahead to do.
And you know what? We all have that friend at school called Dylan who your brain kind of naturally goes, oh yeah, Dylan, dildo. Like that would be the nickname, but then you realize that that's inappropriate.
Shout out to Dylan B right now.
Is that your mate's
I've
name?
just seen him on the weekend. Yep. He calls him Dildo.
Because it's like, a lot of people get, like Pat, sometimes I call him Pato, right?
Pato.
Dylan, dildo. But then you're like,
Myko.
ooh, yeah, Myko. I get that a lot.
Please never.
Radio Myko.
Please never. If you see us in public,
Don't
never.
call us Myko. The Mykos.
BTB.
BTB. Dylan Dildo Dylderoni.
The boys all laughed. Wait, so your name is Dylan Dildo Dylderoni? Said Luke. That's right. Sorry. That's right, said Dylan. I'm an exchange student from Australia for the semester. Just doing a year abroad. Mum and Dad thought it'd be a good idea. What's all your names? Honestly, said Rob, it's no point explaining our names. You can just call us the boys.
Eponymous.
It's really good.
It's really eponymous.
Really good.
So,
I love how you're doubling down on eponymous, by the way. Triple down even.
But that's like if me and you, if someone asked our names and I was just like, hey, no point explaining. Just call us the Mikes. It's like, okay, hey, the Mikes.
You wait for the podcast spin-off that comes from this now. The mics. Righto then, said Dildo. How's it going, the boys? Oh no.
What?
I gotta say a cuss word now.
Oh, okay.
You've written in a cuss word.
No, it's a.
I'm not gonna bleep it.
No
We're not gonna-
bleeps. We
No
don't
bleeps.
bleep.
There's no breaks yet. No
We don't
bleeps.
bleeps.
Shut the fuck,
Shut
said a fifth year called Chechley Chambopoulos. Definitely Greek. Definitely Greek.
What is occurring in this book?
Shut the fuck. Okay, I'm trying to read the book.
Fuck, dildo.
B2B. Chechley Chambopoulos, who was studying next to Dildo, but the boys killed him and moved on.
A fair assessment of the
With
scenario.
a name like Chetley Chambopoulos.
I like the name Chetley.
Yeah?
Do you reckon that's
No, not Chetley.
Ah.
Chetchley.
Oh, well, that changes everything.
I like Chetley as
I
well.
don't like Chetchley.
Sounds like a nice tea brand, Tetley's.
I was
but
thinking, is Chetley, Chet Faker?
I know Chet Faker.
Is his name Chetley Faker?
Chetchley Faker.
Chetchley Faker.
Thank you very much. BTB. What school are you on exchange from then? Said Michael. Sorry, I did an Australian accent, but that's you.
Yeah.
Well, I've come from Australia's best wizarding school of all time and one of the best schools in the entire world. Dinguts School of Hocus Pokery, said Dylan.
So in Australia, they call magic Hocus Pokery because
Yeah.
it's like Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Dinguts School of Hocus Pokery.
This is probably the first time you've written something that isn't a direct derivative of the books. This is like you're going off script now.
Well, we know that in Fantastic Beasts, the movies, the American school is called Ilvermorny.
Right.
Did you know that?
I've been watching your videos on the movie to not go see the movie because I knew it was going to be terrible and I actually waited for your TikTok on it.
Oh, thanks, man.
No worries. Thank you
You're the
for
best.
your service.
Yeah.
You're the
best.
up.
BTB.
BTB.
Whatever.
The boys had never heard of Dinguts School of Hocus Pokery, and to be honest, it sounded pretty stupid. It sounds pretty stupid, said Sam. Would you rather be at Dinguts than Winslow Dundee's School for Your Magic Little... Mike.
What is going on?
Mike, there's a C word in here.
Is there a C word?
Mike.
There has never been a C word in this book.
Is this the first beep?
I will beep any C word.
Okay, well then I can go ham on this one. I
Go
can really
ham.
go hard T on
I'll
this.
beep bleeping it.
See you next Tuesday. Would you rather be at Dinguts than Winslow Dundee's School for Your Magic Little or pet? You wrote that. You
I love
wrote
how
that.
there's now people won't know because it was bleep, but there's the C word and then there's a female version of the C word. Same way like some people say like dude and dudette.
Dudette.
Apply the same logic.
Yeah,
So,
take out the dude and add cunt.
so is that another Australian school? Winslow Dundee's. Where is this? I can't even see it.
Winslow
there.
Dundee's-
Winslow Dundee's School for Your Magic Little or
Yeah, a lot of bleeping work for you there. It's the most editing you've ever had to do.
That is huge.
Said Dildo, presumably referring to another Australian wizarding school.
Oh, there you go.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Said Michael. You've really just discovered swearing in this week of writing.
Yeah, this is a lot of cussing in this chapter.
Everybody stood in silence for a while. Then Sam slapped Dildo hard across the face to the point where it left a red mark.
Okay. So they're just sitting in silence, and then Sam just goes, but harder.
A lot
than I
harder
just
than that. Oh yeah, he was like real like aggression in that one. For those wondering, I didn't just do a clap. I slapped myself in the face.
He slapped himself in the face.
Yeah, BTB.
So did I. Nah, I didn't.
It's good. That's two
Nearly tricked
two
him.
hands like. BTB.
BTB.
So you're a wizard from Australia, said Tom. That's right, said Dildo. But in Australia, we don't call them witches and wizards. We call them wizards and hokies. Well, sorry. I've got to go back here.
You got to go rewind.
The Baileys has gotten me. We call wizards hokies and witches pokies. And you learn magic just like us. Yeah, but over in Australia, we call it Hocus Pokery. And we call muggles the big fat cunts.
So wait, rewind. In Australia, they call witches, they call wizards hokies
Yep.
and witches pokies.
Yep.
And they just call muggles big fat cunts.
regardless of their weight.
Not even cunts.
No.
Which just defeats the
Everyone's
purpose
a
of
cunt.
Winslow Dundee School.
Yeah. Yeah. You're going to be so excited about what Luke says to all of that.
What does he say?
Nice, says Luke.
I'm so sorry about this, by the way, Mikey.
No, it's okay. If it ruins my career, it's fine.
That's it. It's a
That's
good way
fine.
to go out.
A great way to go out. What's with the yellow wolf, says Tom. Why is there a go-go? My dingo spirit animal. Oh, my God. I got to
Rewind.
Cut that.
Oh,
cut
got
that.
it. I'll cut
the
it.
Baileys. Why, this here is Go-Go, my dingo spirit animal. You see, over here at Hogwarts, you boys can bring an owl, a cat, or a toad to school. But over there at Dinguts, it's completely different for us. We can either bring a dingo, a croc, or a kookaburra. I gotta say, all those kids bringing crocs get eaten by about 4th year, says Dildo. Actually, one of the crocs became so smart and talented at Hocus Pokery that he actually became a student. He's in my year. His name is Dyldo Dyldo Dyldo.
What do you reckon's better, Chechley Chungorius or Dylan?
No, Chukatopoulos or something. He was definitely Greek.
Or Dylan Dingdor.
I've got to side with Chechley here, but it's a real slim margin on that one.
But also just the fact that he's just like, yeah, you can bring a pet to school. One of our pets actually was so smart, he became a student. It's like if Trevor Neville's toad just became a student at the school.
No one would blink an eye, mate.
No, crazy.
No one would blink an
It's
eye.
a magic world, I guess. You got to accept it.
B2B. "What the fuck is your problem?" said Rob, frowning. The boy stood in silence once again. "And did your parents actually name you Dylan Dylderoni?" said Lockie. "I'll have you know that Dylderoni dynasty goes a long way back in Australia. I come from a long line of Australian purebloods, Hokies and Pokies," says Dildo. He's getting defensive here.
Getting pretty upset, and yeah.
Great. "Dildo, why are you talking to us?" says Michael.
Interesting, yeah.
"What do you mean?" says Dildo. "Well, I find it difficult to believe in a book with as little detail as this one that an Australian exchange student has come to Hogwarts and has been planted into various chapters as a teaser to then randomly start talking to us like 15 chapters in. I'm assuming you have some bit of information for us or something that's going to reveal some cryptic piece of information that will make it clearer to us as to why we have to do or something like that in any way," said Michael.
Now that's a sentence.
Yeah, really needed some apostrophes in that one.
Yeah.
That was tough.
And he's like critiquing the meta of the book.
Yeah.
It's like, well, there's no way this book has such little detail. There's no way you'd be here unless you're going to progress the narrative forward.
Have you been watching Moon Knight by any chance on Disney Plus?
I've watched the first ep.
Okay, so you really like there's a show about someone with split personality, right? I feel like that's how you're writing this, and sometimes something in you takes over that's like, this guy's an idiot. So the guy that's writing this book, and it comes out in the characters, and it's just a little self-loathing, just a lot of that going on.
I also just love how earlier one of the characters just goes, "What the fuck is wrong with
Yeah.
you?"
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm just explaining who I am.
Yes. Way to be as a kid.
I
You must have been a
know.
tough critic.
Tough critic, yeah.
B to B. I was just trying to read ahead to see which character I'm going on here. This is a long sentence. I'm sorry, I read too far. I saw "come." I'm not excited to read this bit. But here we go. I'm going to just do an accent that kind of flows in between.
I think it's Dildo chatting.
Okay. "Look, I don't know anything, but what I do know is that 10 years ago at Dinguts School of Hocus Pokery, there was a Teamwizard Tournament where everyone who competed died in the first task. The first task was dragons, and since there has been a shortage in dragons in England because of dragon hunting, I bet my left testy and a leader have come that an Australian bull dragon will be the first task. You have to kill it, cut it open, and cook its meat into a burger for the judges. Actually, make it my right testy. I like my left one better," says Dildo. What the fucking fuck, Mike?
So he's saying there's a shortage of So the first task is dragons, like in Goblet of Fire.
Yes.
There's a shortage of dragons in England, so he's certain it's going to be
Bull dragon.
an Australian bull dragon.
Yeah.
Bull dragon.
Oh, they're about to continue this conversation.
Okay, well, we might find out more.
I've got a feeling you've already hashed over this. Yeah.
He is betting his left testy, not his right one.
Yeah, likes the left.
one.
Oh, no.
Was
Which one does he like more? He likes the left one
he
better.
likes the left one better. And a leader of cum, which you could make a lot of babies with that.
God, that's a lot of cum.
A lot of cum. It's a lot of cum.
That's a lot of cum. B2B.
How much cum do you reckon you've cummed in your life? Just think about it.
Plead the fifth. I'll plead the fifth on that one. An Australian bull dragon, says Tom. Those things are 16 kilometres tall and weigh 100 billion kilos, said Sam. You guys look pretty fucked, says Dildo. This is Big Brother. Dildo for swearing. That's a $5,000 fine, said Big Brother. Pause. Has Big Brother made it?
Big Brother did appear in a previous chapter for the first time.
Right.
So now it just seems like the house, the school, Hogwarts, is also a Big Brother show.
Man, how many more chapters and books of this have you written?
This is book 2 of 7.
You wrote seven books as a kid.
Prolific writer.
Like, this is how many? There is 23,400 words in this.
It's big.
Did you pass anything in school?
English.
Yeah. These were the... Okay, BTB.
So Big Brother's back.
Suddenly another voice came over the PA next to Big Brother. It was Harry.
I love how everyone just accepts Big Brother as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy.
In a world where you can make things levitate with your wand.
True. You don't think
Big
twice
Brother,
about
it
this.
seems pretty darn normal, to be honest with you. Excuse me, all teachers and students and Big Brother. Just a reminder that Derek is a disgrace to all wizards. Also, this week for 2 points, I'm nominating Professor Granger.
So Harry is... Have you ever watched Big Brother?
Yes.
So Harry is doing a nomination for eviction.
Sure.
Apparently. I don't know. Anyway.
Fantastic.
Coming up to the last line here.
I'm glad they added that tidbit. When I say they, I mean you. I'm not ever going to take the onus away from the fact that you wrote this. I don't care if it was 10 years ago.
It was 15, actually. Can I say, often the chapters of this book, I've realised, just end with Harry coming over the PA going, Derek is a disgrace to all wizards. And I think it's just me as a 13-year-old being like, how would you end this?
Yeah.
What would happen to end this chapter?
Did you know a Derek back then?
Nah, the name has changed. It is based on a real person, Derek. But I changed the name just in case.
I like that you slandered somebody. Yeah. Just in case they come back and bully you or something.
Just in case just in case they sue me for defamation or something.
How could they possibly?
Call me I called them a disgrace to all wizards several times in a public forum.
You're right.
Could get sued.
That's MB. That's my bad.
My bad. NW, no worries.
I'm going to try and deliver the best last line.
Last line of the chapter.
Okay, this is a female character. Hello. Stay tuned for tomorrow's live eviction at 8 o'clock on Channel 10. Said Gretel Kayleen, the host of Big Brother. That was my voice of Gretel Kayleen.
Do you remember Gretel Kayleen?
No.
She was the host of Big Brother, like at the time this was written.
Take your laptop back. I don't want to touch it anymore.
So
I said words I didn't think I'd say on air before.
Gretel Kayleen comes into the book. She's the host of Big Brother Australia. And she says, stay tuned for tomorrow's live eviction.
Wow.
Mikey?
Wow.
What'd you think of the chapter?
I don't remember much from the last chapter that we did together.
Yeah.
But I can guarantee that one was on a new level.
Of good or bad? Or of so bad it's good?
I think that the latter. I think we're really starting to see Mike quickly start mingling with different kids that talk naughty stuff. Like, oh yeah, I found a nudie mag under my dad's bed and there's a dildo in it and a girl has sex with it. Yeah. And then you're like, oh, dildos, I know what a dildo is. Yeah, I got one at home. Yeah. Yeah.
And so can a few questions. Yeah, First one. Please. So obviously Dinguts School of Hocus Pokery is our Australian school. That's correct. What do you reckon the houses are? Like Gryffindor, Ravenclaw. What do you reckon the Dinguts houses are?
Something that resembles a gumboot.
Yeah?
I'd assume.
Gumbooshu?
Gumbooshu?
Yeah.
Okay, so good. I'll pitch them to
Vegemite?
you.
Vegemite? Something to do with Vegemite, maybe?
Vegemitis?
Yeah,
sounds like a terrible STD. Something to honour Steve Irwin. God rest his soul.
Crocodilus? Something like that.
That's really good.
Yeah.
I want to let you know that's really good.
Thanks, man.
I want to add two more houses.
Yeah.
One would be around Andrew Gaze.
The basketballer?
The basketballer.
Interesting, okay. So do you think in the universe of this book, Andrew Gaze was a wizard, or do the Australian magical community just love Muggle basketball?
They just really love, not basketball, just Andrew Gaze. They just
But how did they discover him? Like, he's a Muggle?
Like all kids, Andrew Gaze came to their school celebration, and when Andrew Gaze handed them the participation trophies, which definitely happened in my schooling, where Andrew Gaze gave me my season trophy.
Wow.
It was a big moment in my life.
I remember when I was in like grade 3, this guy came to our school who was a wrestler or something like that. I can't remember his name, but he said he was in Scooby-Doo, the movie. And then I had the VHS of Scooby-Doo and I watched it. His name was in the credits. He was in Scooby-Doo.
That is such a flex.
I know, but I can't remember his name or who he was. He was like a boxer or something. He's like, yeah, I was in Scooby-Doo. Crazy.
What a movie to be in out of all movies. He could have said he was in Shawshank Redemption. I'd be like, whatever. But Scooby-Doo, that thing was a masterpiece.
Oh, amazing film. They filmed it at Movie World on the Gold Coast.
Did they actually?
I think they filmed it there. That's why there's the ride there as well.
I love that ride.
Love that ride.
Backwards. Spoiler alert.
Do you think Dinguts would have a house called Scoobius Doobius, even though it has nothing to do with
anything?
Or to do with Australia?
Unnamed boxeress. I was thinking Commonwealth Games, something to do around the Commonwealth Games.
Oh, yeah.
We take too much pride in that. But I think
Yeah, because we suck at the Olympics.
Yeah.
But we're good at the Commonwealth Games.
Yeah, because there's a really limited amount of people that
Yeah.
can
We're probably one of the biggest nations that compete aside from England.
Not to take away anything from anyone that's won a...
No, congratulations if you have. One more thing.
Please.
Where do you see the book heading? In your opinion, where do you see it heading?
Can't believe there's 5 more of them. That actually shocks me.
But do you think the Teamwizard Tournament, do you think the boys will die? Will they live? You know?
It's strange because you managed to kill off a character in most chapters here like that.
Yeah.
There's no build up to it. It's just, we didn't like him, he's dead. So
There's
I
no
wouldn't be
respect
surprised.
for life in this book, is there?
Not really. So I wouldn't be surprised if the boys will be replaced with another set of boys. So yes, I'm going to put my
They
money
will
on.
all die?
Yeah, they'll all die because it doesn't matter. Death doesn't matter here. It seems like everyone's a number, and I think that's a real piece in society that
It's
everyone's
like
treated as a number.
Squid Game.
It's like Squid Game. Treated as numbers.
15 years before Squid Game. And finally, would you keep reading? If you weren't a guest on this podcast, you just stumbled across this book, would you keep reading? Find out what happens next?
Paint me the picture of how I stumble across this book. Is it in a library and
Yeah,
suddenly
yeah.
there's like a book that's by itself, leather bound, maybe a couple of cobwebs?
Yep. Exactly that.
Okay.
You start reading, you get to this point, you're like, you're like, this is interesting, or this is rubbish.
I think the leader of Cum had me. And so I think I'd have to keep reading to see if the Cum comes back.
Yeah, no pun intended.
No pun intended. I am genuinely curious about the Cum.
Yeah.
So in that regard, yes, I would keep reading. That's
Okay.
my answer.
Well, there you go. Mikey D, can you do some plugs for all your stuff that you plug? That you want to plug?
Sorry, you just talked about dildos and cum. You talk about plugs. My brain is just, that's where my brain is. You put me to the gutter.
Oh, sorry, man.
My name is Mikey D. I'm a sensitive soul. Don't comment mean things on my Instagram or TikToks.
What?
And now a phone
The
call.
phone's rung again.
Let me see.
You get it. You get it.
I'll
My-
start that plug again.
Start the plug again.
Hi, Mum. I'm just doing a podcast with a friend. How are you?
I thought I'd check up on my favourite boy.
My favorite. Mum, I accidentally just put you on speakerphone and that recorded. So now the whole world will know that I'm your favorite.
Oh dear, that's no good.
I won't tell Nikki.
My favourite.
Well-
Alright, well you have fun. I love you.
I love you so much. This is your favorite boy signing out.
Okay, favourite boy. Bye.
She said it again. Bye, Mum.
Wow.
Favorite
And that
boy.
is possibly the biggest twist of this episode.
Okay, I'll do my plugs now.
You have a brother, which is why it's
Yes.
strange that she's publicly stated you're her favorite boy.
Yeah, so you can follow me at favorite boy on Instagram. You can just talk to my mum about that. I don't think I want to plug anything at this stage because I'm so happy that I'm my mum's favorite son.
All right.
That's huge.
I'm going to just plug Mikey D Graham on Insta.
Yeah, I
and
guess it's
is it
probably good.
Mikey D Official on TikTok?
Yeah, Mikey D was taken on TikTok, so I had to put Mikey D
Yeah,
official.
the official one. Guys, Mikey, thank you so much for joining me. Come on again sometime if you game. And I'll see you guys. And I'll see you guys next week.
I
Woo!
had to think about it.
You have to think about it. See you guys. Goodbye, Homoras.
Stay juicy.
Stay juicy.
Stay loose.
Is that your thing?
No.
Oh. This episode of Harry Potter and the Boys was brought to you by Radio Mike on Patreon and the 20th Century Boy podcast. For as little as $1 a month, get a bonus podcast every week at patreon.com/Radio Mike. And search 20th Century Boy on your favorite podcast app to hear more from me every single week. See you there. This podcast was a Radio Mike original production. Head to radiomike.com.au to check out all our other content, stay up to date at radio.mike on Instagram, and get in touch, radiomikepod@gmail.com.